So you see, there's a lot of talk about business processes. Why are we so concerned with them? What's the deal with business processes, and why do they get so much focus, especially when you're talking about an ERP system that allegedly could give you the processes that you need to run your company more efficiently? Well, I got to tell you, a business process is the DNA of your company. It's what separates you from the herd. It's what differentiates you from the competition. It's going to make you more effective and more efficient, or it's going to drag you down and make you slow. We like to look at business processes for a couple of good reasons. Number one, do they really add to the bottom line? Are they making you more effective, more competitive, more efficient, or are you just doing it because we've always done it this way? And number two, we want to look at business processes because we want to look for misspent precision. I will talk about a case study later on, but there's a big difference in if you're doing business processes as part of a billion-dollar conglomerate, or you're doing business processes because you're making t-shirts in your mom's basement. I mean, those are two completely different kind of things. I think they need focus. And why Panorama is important is we see a lot of different business verticals. We get to see a lot of different businesses and business processes. And while each company is different in their own way and each has their own kind of DNA, there are some things that resonate across all different vertical boundaries, and we're trying to bring those in. I can give you the top three that always come up. One is manual processes. You're doing a lot of things manually that you really shouldn't have to, either because you're shuttling information between different software systems that are stovepipe, duplicative processes, where you're managing the same information three different ways because you have three different systems or three different managers that want it differently. And finally, like I said, my always favorite one is because we've always done it that way. Panorama likes to look at your business processes. We like to lean them out, and from there, we can pick a good software solution. We talked a little bit about why business processes are important. Now let's talk about how they dovetail into ERP implementations. You certainly could go out and buy a software package, and any of the great ERP retailers or vendors or sellers will sell you business processes that are optimized for their software package. But do you really want to work for the software, or do you want the software to work for you? That's why we want to go through and tailor your business processes and find out what works for you not only now, but looking 5-10 years down the road, because buying an ERP system's like getting married. You're not in it for just a few years or a few months. You're in it for decades if you do it right. Okay, so by leaning out those business processes, making them more effective or more efficient, or ones that just work for your company, then we can go out and find the right software that's a good fit for you. Because like my sainted grandmother said, there's a lid for every jar out there, and I guarantee you there's a software for your company and your optimized business processes. And the real challenge and the real reason why you bring in third parties or consultants is to help you find that marriage. We're matchmakers between the right software for you and the right business processes for your company. I was on an implementation for a middling-sized oil and gas company, and they were really unique because they're over in the Middle East, and they were initially part of a billion-dollar conglomerate that had oil fields on 5 continents. And business processes being part of a subset of a multi-billion-dollar oil company that has business processes on 5 continents is much different than managing a couple of oil blocks in your own country. So the problem was, they had business processes that they were accustomed to for a different software type, and they'd been trained to use those same processes for over 10 years. The problem they ran into is now that they're not part of a billion-dollar corporation, they're actually part of a $1 million state-run agency that had different pressures on it, different requirements, different processes. And the challenge was they had chosen a software that was a good fit, a really good fit actually for what they wanted to do, but the folks were used to using a much different approach to things, and they wanted to alter the new software into something that resembled what they did before. So this bleeds over into several different areas, and this is why you need to interview your consultants a lot. They need to bring more game to the fight than just I'm a business process expert or just a change management or industry relations. They need to be able to punch in several different weight classes. It turned into be a change management exercise. It turned to be in a business processes exercise, as well as just an influence, gaining their trust and confidence and telling them that actually there is a theory of victory and painting a picture of what's in it for them, and then helping them accept the new business processes that not only would work for the new software that was selected, but also work for them as a different size company.